And today we're in chapter 8. I know you've been waiting for this chapter. Sorry it took me long, but I was somehow busy with some other things. But today I'm here for you. So by the end of the video, you should be able to tell what grudge Pastor Chiamaka holds against the government and why did he choose path alpha. I'm going to explain that in details at the end of the video. So the chapter is divided into various episodes, and we have Pastor Chiamaka driving his brother to the university. What is the name of his brother? I'm sure you know. Number 2, we have how he became a preacher. His sermon, actually his 2 sermons at his church, and his arrest. The chapter is solely about Pastor Chiamaka. And at the beginning, we told that his brother Obinna studies at the University of Lagos in Nigeria. He attends evening classes. So he was late. He requested Pastor Chiamaka to drive him to the university. And Pastor Chiamaka drove carelessly and dangerously, but they managed to arrive at the university safely. From that, we learn how he became a preacher. After dropping the brother at the university, he was supposed to go to his office at Earth Movers Limited. He chose the wrong route, Highway 69, also known as God's Highway, and that led to the Holy Camp. He had forgotten that it was on a Friday, and on every Friday, born-again Lagosians go to Holy Camp to worship. So there was traffic, and actually because he wanted to be at his office, he drove again carelessly and dangerously. Because he drove carelessly, he ran into a fire engine, causing an accident. But then he is not seriously injured. At the scene of the accident, no one stopped there because of 2 reasons. One, it could be a trap which may turn into an armed robbery. And number 2, no one wanted to testify against Pastor Chiamaka in court. And Pastor Chiamaka saw this as a miracle. And to understand its meaning, he turned into a religion. He became a preacher. He learned all it takes to be a preacher, and he preached everywhere. On open air market, indoors, at churches. You can check all that information from the book. My favorite part, his first sermon at the church. And his title was, God is Watching. You can see that exclamation over there. It is there for a purpose. And so he had to go to prepare for the sermon, and he went to the pulpit. Before he started the sermon, he had to clap his hands 3 times to evoke the Holy Trinity: God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. To illustrate the theme of his sermon, he used an example, just like Jesus used parable. And I want you to imagine with me and tell me what you're going to do, and be frank. Yeah? And according to him, you're imagining now? Imagine that you are the last person to leave your workplace. As you walk to where your car is parked, you see a plastic bag. And it's not just a plastic bag. It contains cool $10 million. I repeat, American dollars. 10 million American dollars. You, what could you do? Give me your comment. Then Pastor Chiamaka gave 3 responses, and I'm going to read them from the book now. Number 1, you could keep the money and call it good luck God owes you. Number 2, you could carry it home before you figure the smartest thing to do with it. Number 3, you could hand it over to the police. Very stupid. What can you do? But then you're told that the congregation did not answer because it did not know the answer. And from there he gave the research, according to the research that was done by Aishi. And what is the meaning of Aishi? Let me write it. According to the research that was done by Aishi, there are also 3 responses. So what is the meaning, the full meaning of Aishi? Write me on the comments. So they have 3 groups, and group 1 consists of 20%. And according to this, the 20% will pocket the money and let the matter end there. Group 2 has 50%, and the 50% will carry the money home and think of what to do with it. And the last group number 3, it has 30%, and this 30% will hand it to the police right away. So my question is, what happens if you give the money to the police? I'm sure they're going to help themselves first. So you too should help yourself first. I didn't say that. So moving on, those are the 3 groups. But then he said something. What if there was a guard who was patrolling and he saw you collecting the money? And the percentages will change definitely, because he's seen you. Maybe you're going to give him the money or to leave it there. Actually, the example was very appropriate. God is watching you all the time. In anything that you're doing, any sin that you're committing, God is always watching you. So you better do the right thing that pleases the Lord. I guess that was the message of his sermon. Oh my God, I feel like I can be a very terrible preacher, but actually I've tried. You could give me a clap. Thank you. So the next sermon was not the same for Pastor Chiamaka. You see, the other one was successful, but in the next sermon he attacked the government. The government could not solve its problem. Instead, the president had to write an internal memo and told the officers to take precaution. How can the government advise? It's on Monday, early in the morning, he is jailed for how many weeks? For 2 weeks. And then he is released at the beginning of the 3rd week. But one thing happened. He is banned from preaching. So he's never going to be a preacher. 2 years later, he joined Pearl Alpha. So, our question, what grudge does Pastor Chiamaka hold against the government? 1, he was jailed, and number 2, he was banned by the government from preaching. And that is why the Pearl Alpha decided to choose him, because he has something that he holds against the government. Brethren and sisters, I don't know if I'm right in that case. That is the end of our lesson today. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.